what's happening, people? It's Anthony Page, Bistro Theater. We're getting ready to go live, baby, live. I'm gonna bring my co-host in. All right. I'm looking forward to this conversation. Each week we're talking to some really phenomenal creatives who are moving and shaking and, hitting milestones and just really putting some good work together in terms of their creative career. Good evening, people. I'm Anthony Page. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope you guys are having a good week. Tonight we have a wonderful guest, Miss Rhonda Rich. She has a debut single that's out, and I think you guys are gonna love it. Last week I was without my co-host, Miss Tan, DJ Miss Tan. We missed you last week, so she's back with us this week. So since you kind of played hooky on me last week, we're gonna let you kick it off this week. So I'm gonna kick it over to DJ Miss Tan.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you guys for joining. We're so happy to have you here with us this evening as we talk to this beautiful, beautiful young lady. Thank you. The name is very fitting for you because your voice is very rich. It's very full. It has a distinctive sound, so I'm always glad to hear that with me being a DJ. So I'm not going to tell you anything, that I don't mean when it comes to singing. So you definitely represent for the ballads. We don't have many ballads anymore. So I am so excited to talk to you about what we talk about, the people, the process, your projects, or what you chose, the type of music that you chose, because it's very fitting for you. So we're going to jump right in right there.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be a part of this. I'm just so busy. I do a lot of other things that I had to really get myself ready for this. Like, all right, I put this song out there. Now I gotta get up here and talk to these people. I don't really like that, but I'm here.
Part of the process.
Let me correct that. I just get nervous sometimes. Like, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I love people and I love talking to people. So I chose a ballad because R&B is really in my soul. Like, that's what I grew up on. I grew up and it's kind of small, but it's called Party Down P-Town, Portsmouth, Virginia. And they didn't play in Portsmouth, but it was nothing but soul there. And it still is nothing but soul there. And so it's in my soul. I'm from the same place Missy Elliott, Timbaland, all of them from. And it's nothing but soul there.
That I miss you, hate my heart got amnesia. Why do I wanna kiss you? Guess my heart got amnesia. Why did I keep putting up with all your shit? You was too cool with making me cry. With all your lies, my heart's got. I ain't taking you back, I'm just overreacting, cause you don't deserve me. Put repeat on this track, keep running it back, make sure that you heard me. I spent too many days and too many nights just looking for you, and you don't even see about me. It was easy like breathing to find someone new, and he's got more bags, treat me better than you. You brought this on yourself, thought I didn't know you was cheating on me, baby. Hate that I need, my heart's got amnesia, so wanna see, my heart's got amnesia. Whoa, you was too cool.
And honestly, that song too, that was an experience for me. And it was the sort of thing that, I had to write it because I had to get it off my chest, but then I didn't really want to share it because I felt like embarrassed that I was weak in a relationship. But then I was like, you know what? A lot of women out here weak and they kind of suffering by themselves. They need some strength. They need something to stand on. And so that's what the song is about, making a statement like, if somebody's been doing you wrong, whether you're a man or a woman, because there's plenty of women out there that do men wrong. If somebody ain't been treating you right, they don't know how to treat you, don't take them back. Don't take them back.
Well, you know what, Ron, the resonates with me, and the name of the song makes it all easier to swallow, because what we all get, temporary amnesia when that heart takes over the mind, don't we?
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes.
So the title was very fitting for the lyrics. And you're right. Everybody goes through what, I mean, it's from the beginning of the time. They say everybody plays the fool sometime,
That's
right?
right. So
Right,
don't even
right.
front like you don't. I mean, like with social media, everything is the way it is. People will get on here and be all glitz and glam, everything's beautiful. But behind the scene, they struggling or they hurting or they crying, but they never get on social media and show that side. But I mean,
Hmm.
I just want to help people heal. Like that's a part of, I think that's why God gave me the gift so that I could help people heal.
Music.
And it's obvious too, if I may jump in right there, men need a little bit of healing too. I think we saw that the night of the Oscars. I don't want to get into that conversation, but men need healing too. We have some stuff going on, and we don't have as many platforms to kind of, express ourselves. So yeah, and music is a wonderful way. I know sometimes when I'm in a space, music pulls me out of it.
Right.
I pull out my Al Green. Come on, that, and I don't need to go much further than that. You know what I mean? So,
Exactly, exactly.
let's talk about your evolution. How did you become Rhonda Rich? Tell us about the evolution of what is now Rhonda Rich.
Oh, well, I would say that when I was younger in high school, I was like, I don't want to do nothing else but sing. That's it. I don't want no career. I don't want none of that. I just want to sing. I'll see y'all in about 3-4 years. I'm gonna be a star. Like literally, that's what I was thinking.
Mhm.
And it was hard. And I was in Phoenix, Arizona. I was like, how was I gonna make that happen? And then life started to happen. I did go to college, and I realized I had so many other gifts. Like God gave me a brain. You know what I mean? So he gave
Mhm.
me business savvy. He gave me people skills and corporate skills. And I had to put those to work because I looked around me. I was a music major. I started off at University of Arizona as a music major. And I saw people that were very passionate about music, but they were broke. And I was
Mm.
Mhm.
like, I don't want that. And when I
Yeah.
moved back to the East Coast and started working with, I was singing in a girl group called Intune. It was a long time ago. But again, it's like when you're in the mix like that, you know pretty much everybody in the area doing it. But most people, there's some people, I know some people that really did well, but most people, it's hard. It's very hard. And I honestly didn't want to, maybe I should have, but I didn't want to spend my life just broke trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mhm.
just started to evolve and use the gifts that God gave me to try to make a living, and stumbled on things that I never even thought I would even like to do. But I think that that skill set, it made me ready for what I'm doing now. So I had gotten
Mhm.
married, like, I met somebody in college, got married, had a child, got divorced, became a single mother. And I was like, the last thing I want to do is have my son grow up in the same situation that I was in. And so I didn't
Mhm.
care. Like, music was way at the bottom of my list at that point. And the top of my list was making sure my son he grew up in a decent neighborhood, in a decent environment, given a fair chance. And so he graduated from high school a couple years ago. And I think a lot of women like me, and men, you get to this point in life where you've given your life to your kids or to your husband or your wife
Yes.
sometimes.
Mhm.
And now I see even friends that are giving their lives to their family members who are in need, as your mom and dad get older. And it's like, but what about you? And I had to think about like my dreams. They had been put on hold for so long, but I could stand in the shower or look in the mirror and just start singing. Or I would have people sending me music all the time. And I look, here go my
Mhm.
mic right here. See that? And
Yes.
I would be in my studio writing songs and just sending them all over the place. And people be like, "Why aren't you singing? Why aren't you singing a song?" And then, a lot of people would say, if you don't make it by the time you're 25, forget about it. And I
Right.
thought, let me change that narrative.
Oh gosh, I have been in music for a long, long time, and that is really another part about this song that's about resilience, because I had given up on music and given up on art and singing and raised my son and went to corporate America and did all that, but it still kept gnawing at me and gnawing at me. And the talent, if God gives you something, is always going to be there. And I wanted to do it to prove that it's never too late. Again, to encourage my older women
that if it's something you want to do, you sacrifice your life for your children and for your family. They're grown now. You're looking around thinking about what you're about to do with your life. Do what you've always wanted to do. It's never too late.
Make sure that you heard me. I spent too many days and too many nights just looking for you, and you don't even see about me. It was easy like breathing to find someone new. But he's got more bags, treat me better than you. You brought this on yourself.
So,
Right.
A friend of mine, a producer, dared me to put out a song, and he's like, "You scared?" And I was like, "I am a little bit, but I'm gonna do it anyway." And so I called Mr. Anthony Page, and he came through, and it was an amazing experience. I'm so glad I did it. Like, if I don't care if only 20 people heard the song, the experience for me was enough to say, I did this for myself. And you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting ready to do it again.
Yeah. And it was a wonderful experience. And you had a great response. So far, you have 20,000 views on your music video. What she was talking about, audience, is, when the song was ready and I loved it, she asked me to direct the music video. And it was an honor to be able to do that. I love the experience. I love the song. My wife is a singer too, and she loves it. She said, "That's a dope song." I said, "Yeah, it does. It just, it gets into you, and it's got a nice beat. It's got great lyrics. There's a good story to it. Yeah, and you sing it beautifully."
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we're talking about process. Okay, we're starting to understand you a little bit. So let's dive into process. So when you're in the, say, late teens, early 20s, you looked at your career one way. Now you've had a little bit of corporate America experience and maturity and
corporate America experience.
Okay, yeah. So we got experience between where you were the first time you pursued this and now. So how are you approaching your career now? What are you doing different? What's working? What's not working?
I do need to put more time into it. God, I can remember being at a point where it was like, if I had this amount of money, if I had that, I would be doing this. But now I'm in a position I can do those things, and yet I find myself doing what's most familiar to me, which is business and being in corporate America and driving that. I have a lot of sales ability and marketing ability, and it's just putting in the time to do it for myself. My brother, my baby brother, is also a marketing, he's a marketing guru. And to just see what's happened in his life in the last few years inspired me as well, because it was like, wow, we came from nothing. And my brother, when I tell you he's doing it, he's doing it. So I'm really proud of him. And it just made me all the more, it gave me more reason to want to push forward. And then a mutual friend of ours, Anthony, told me, he was like, my son is Chris Coop, by the way. Chris Coop is a dope rapper. And he can sing. Even though he want to act like he don't want to sing, but he can sing, and he's just so dope. He's dope at writing. And a friend of mine, a mutual friend of ours, Anthony, was like, "Yeah, you need to go ahead. You said you're gonna do this song." I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it." He was like, "So, did you write out your project plan yet?" I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna do it." So he's like, "I tell you what, how soon you think you can get that done?" I was like, "It probably just in a night I can get it all done." He's like, "All right, so." If you can't get that done by like tomorrow morning, don't call me back. And this was just a friend, but sometimes you just need that push. You need somebody to say, to hold you accountable.
Here you come running back like you know how to act, but baby you heard me. You've been running them streets, and now you can see you could never replace me. I spent too many days and too many nights just trying to show you what real love is supposed to be. Baby, I never cheated, never stepped out on you. Love kept me home with nothing to do. You brought this on yourself. Your dirty lips won't be loving on me. Baby, I hate that I miss ya. Oh, I wanna kiss ya. Guess why? Why did I keep putting up with
And so, and he was also like, you do it for your son so he can see what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what we need to do more. It's like, we're still here. I still have my life energy. I still have beauty and talent, thank God. And I say that humbly, but I say that to inspire other women. Whatever it is that you wanted to do back then, you can still do it, and don't let nobody tell you different.
Yes. Yes. Preach. About to run around this living room right that is the truth. And you know what the most beautiful part of that is? Say you did it initially for yourself. And being true to yourself, I believe, brings out that character because you've already been through the other things. You know, you already have had that life. So now you are more grateful that you have the opportunity to pursue it again and still have your talents. And then you have the motivation of your son. That's just facts. That is just going to take you to the levels that you want to get to. I can see that, definitely. And don't be humble. You do still have the beauty. You are absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank God.
Yeah. So you have that as well. And women, we have it so hard. Anthony already knows that is my thing with protecting women in the industry, because if you don't do it a certain way, if you don't say a certain thing, then you have all these obstacles. You don't get to be true to yourself. But the fact that you're willing to be true to yourself and do something that you love, it is going to get you where you want to be. I can see that. I definitely can.
Thank you.
But I'd like to talk about the people and Rhonda Rich. I want to know the name. Why did you pick that? That's like a thing for me. I like to know that.
So my full name is Taronda, and I don't know if my mom's on because she was like having a hard time figuring it all out. but so yeah, my full name is Taronda. But then in corporate America and being in sales and marketing, you know, depending on who you're talking to, they Tarhonda, Tashonda, Tawanda. And I'm like, just call me Rhonda because I need you to treat me like the professional that I am. And sometimes they'd be like, so is your name Rhonda or Taronda? I said, it's kind of like Bill and William, Rob and Robert. Just call me Rhonda. And so I got used to being called Rhonda because it was just easy. And then Rich, my maiden name is Richardson. So Rhonda Rich, that's what it's about.
Your work is autobiographical, and I'm sure you have a catalog of work that you've written. What are you working towards now? You're going to put out another single? You're going to put out a concept album? What's coming up next for you? How is Rhonda Rich evolving?
I'm just going to choose another single and put out another single. I've never been a fan of concept albums, even like as a writer and submitting music. I'm like, is it a good song or not? Like, we all have so many different aspects to our lives. Why does it have to be, you know, this concept or a certain feel or sound, or they want to peg you like, are you R&B or are you? Well, God gifted me with a bunch of things. Why do I have to put a label on it?
Right.
Put out great music.
So everything you write, is that your creative process to let it be something that you've experienced?
Well, I mean, you got to have something to go on. So I would say a lot of it is, but I also have to be able to relate to other people. So I got to look around and see what's going on in the world and what others are going through too. My cousin is crazy. And pull those in. So sometimes the songs that I write, it'll have pieces of my experience, but it'll have pieces of what I know other people are going through as well. So I don't want everybody to, and I don't want to leave anyone out. I don't ever want to degrade a person's experience. Like, you know, if they're, as a writer, you should be willing to write it. So if they're going through something, they might be ashamed of it. I'm going to write it anyway. And so if people are, and I'm not saying putting names to it, I'm saying if people want to look at it and go, oh, she did. No, that's not necessarily the case. It might be something for somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah. And one of the things I think is interesting is, like you said, you've had a career in corporate and you've kind of conquered those things. Right. And you've reached those milestones.
Yeah.
So now you can approach this creative career differently. Right?
Right. For sure.
So paint us a picture of what success in this space looks like for you.
Well, Well, let me just rewind a little bit. You said something when you said I could do things a little bit different now. That is so true because, like, when I was younger and when I was in the girl group, we just signed on a dotted line to, a record label, a small label at that time. Those guys ended up getting in trouble. We went to New York to meet Sylvia Rome. We sang for her. She loved us, and she said, "But y'all are in the contract," and we were stuck. We drove back home from New York without a deal. And that's what we wanted back then, was a deal.
Right.
But the longer I'm in the industry, and then I kind of evolved, especially when I was a mother, a young mother. And it was like, well, let me just focus on writing and getting a publishing deal. But again, it's a deal, right? So back then we didn't really have social media like we have it now. We didn't have Facebook like we have it now. We got platforms that we can push ourselves on. We can market ourselves, and it don't even cost a lot of money. So you don't necessarily have to sign your life away anymore. So for me, the difference is now I could put out a song tomorrow. I could put out 10 songs tomorrow. I can market them all tomorrow. You know what I mean? I can shoot 10 videos if I want to. And that's a great place to be. And at least I have, yes, it took me a while to get here. But getting here now, I came with some bags that can help me where I don't have to sign on a dotted line and sign my life and my career away. Creatively, I just want to really get more of my music out because I've been writing so many songs over the years that are just sitting there kind of like in a vault. You know what I mean? So I want to get more of it out and get it heard. I personally have gotten to a point, because I think I went through a shy stage, the stage of being afraid what people think, what are they going to say, and you get to a point eventually, hopefully sooner rather than later, that you just got to stop caring what people think and just let go of the inhibitions and go for it. So for me now, if I shoot to the moon, that would be great. That's a story to tell. That's something for me to inspire other people with. Like, look at what I did way after I did all this other life stuff. But even if I don't, I'm proud of myself for being able to just put my music out there and let it be heard. If you like it, wonderful. If you don't, okay, I'm still trying to get better.
Do you see yourself doing tours, maybe singing live? Because I know now that COVID is kind of somewhat manageable, I think a lot more festivals are going to be kind of coming back.
Absolutely. So I put Amnesia out. We haven't talked enough about Amnesia, but I put Amnesia out during COVID. So, and I think a lot of people did some things during COVID. Right now we're going through what they call the Great Resignation. Everybody's leaving their job because they're trying to start businesses or do these things they've always wanted to do. And I put Amnesia out during COVID. So yes, I'm ready. Just hit me up. Let me know where you want me. and I'm going to try my best to come through. But absolutely.
Yeah. 20,000 views on your music video. I mean, there are people who work a lot hard. I'm not saying that you didn't work hard, but how did you get to that number? What did you find that worked for you? I know you got a background in marketing, but what worked for you to get people to pay attention? Because there's so much noise out there.
Yeah, I would say because of the fact that I'm a professional in other ways, doing other things, I don't have the time to sit in front of the camera all day on social media going, hey, look at me. I think some people do. And they do a bunch of bouncing around, But so I had to rely on my marketing savvy. I had to. And so I plan to do more of that, do the same thing with my son. He has a song coming out called All Day that I absolutely love. I think it's a hit. I know it's a hit. And so I'm gonna back him on that one as well. And just looking forward to doing more of the same.
Awesome.
All right. So have you had the opportunity to perform yet?
I've done a little something, but not much. I think with COVID and everything, and like I said, I really hadn't been on here doing anything. If you look at my IG page, you're like, this girl needs to get busy, and I do. And so I'm really grateful for you guys for having me on here, giving me that push to get back out here and keep it moving.
Beautiful. There it is. There it is. Aim for the face and the hair. Aim for the face and the hair.
Hate my heart got amnesia. Why do I wanna kiss ya? Guess my heart got amnesia. Why did I keep?
Look good?
Yeah.
Good enough? We're gonna do it again.
No, that was good. That was perfect. That was good.
We don't need to do it again?
No.
All right, we got it.
With all your lies, my heart's got. I ain't taking you back, I'm just overreacting, cause you don't deserve me. But repeat on this track, keep running it back, make sure that you heard me. I spent too many days.
So what I was going to ask earlier, who's your artistic inspiration?
So, okay. So Michael Jackson, everybody know. But I'm telling you, I was loving Michael Jackson when I was little. I used to look at him and I almost want to cry because I felt like I should be on stage one day. I felt that. I'm sure a lot of people felt that way.
Yes.
And then obviously the late great Whitney, like her voice is unrivaled. There's nobody ever like her, and there will never be another one of Whitney's. So that she was amazing to me. Some old school favorites y'all might not know, but they really inspired me, was like Angela Winbush,
Oh, I know.
Lisa Fisher,
Yes.
Tina Marie.
Yes.
I actually really love Jill Scott and Ella Mai and of course Beyonce. So
yes.
Oh, and I can't leave out Chrisette Michele. I love Chrisette Michele's voice. So those are just a few. Fantasia, like I could keep going on and on.
Those are very that you named. And I can definitely see that as your inspiration. I can see that.
Thank you.
For women.
Thank you.
All wrapped in one. So you spoke about putting it out during COVID, but you still, like Anthony said, have done so well with the 20,000 views. And you said that you're going to, put your marketing skills into play. Tell us a little more about that. Like, how could you help another artist? What are you going to do to, help promote your music?
So what I'm going to do and have been doing is like you have to think about your product, whatever it is you're selling, and in this particular instance, it's my song, right? Who am I trying to reach? Who can benefit from it, or what's the angle? So when people look at me, like men look at me and they're like, okay, I want to follow her. But women, I need them to know my heart and to know that this song is about a woman's heart for the most part. Men can relate, but it's about a woman's heart. And so just thinking about who my target audience is. And then from a marketing perspective, those people that you're trying to reach, where do they frequent? What pages are they on? What channels do they watch? What radio stations do they listen to? And you have to take those mediums and market yourself on those mediums. Word of mouth is powerful. There's nothing like it. A whole lot of people have gone viral on it. But, people have also, especially in business, been asking, does she write from a personal standpoint? See, Courtney B. Now, Courtney B., he managed Nelly in his heyday. And Courtney B. manages Morris Day today. And he's working on a film. See, you joined late, Courtney, because we already talked about that. Yeah. That's my boy. I can talk to him like that.
Any kind of business that you're going to start, any kind of venture that you're going to start, nothing is easy. So I want to learn how you're navigating some of the difficulty. How are you dealing with some of the challenges? Because Atlanta is a very competitive creative market.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm a work in progress. Like Courtney B is like, yo, you need to be posting every day. You need to be posting 5 times a day and, get out. And so there's a lot of stuff I still need to do. I rely on my marketing skills, so that helps. But I have to get out there more, and I have to be more present. I have to be more available and stuff like this. So you're going to start hearing more from me and seeing more from me. I'm going to try to just start flooding the market with, doing the very best I can. And Courtney's saying, yes, it's a very competitive market. I don't know if you guys can see these comments, or can I?
Yeah, they're coming up. Yeah, we can see.
Okay. So, yeah, it's extremely competitive. And that's why when you ask what success looks like for me, I can't judge myself by whether or not I went platinum. Going platinum would be amazing. But if I do not go platinum, did I give it my best shot? Did I give it my all? Did I go out here and make a splash? Or did I just, turn over in the bed and get up the next day and keep doing the same mundane thing? And that's the thing that I wanted to get away from. I want to leave something on the table, leave it all on the table if I can.
Let's jump into your son a little bit. We don't have to get too personal because I know your son is creative too.
Yes, he is. He's a rapper, but he's working hard. I probably was more inclined to try to help him get a record deal. I do stuff and people are, for him, and people are like, well, what about you? But he doesn't want a record deal. He does not want a record deal. I'm like, dude, I know these people, I can help. He does not want a record deal because he realizes that there's power in social media. And if you're going to get out there and you're willing to put the time, the effort, the energy, and some money, because when you get a record deal, you're basically taking out a loan. That's all you're doing. You're taking out a loan for somebody to believe and invest in you and to push your stuff out there to the market. And then for that, they get whatever you sign on the dotted line. And sometimes it's almost everything, but you got the thing. And so he's willing to market himself. I'm willing to invest with him and help him continue to grow. He can sing.
And with you helping your son and the journey that you've taken, you know, if you were, you know, I don't really like to go back because it's meant to be the way that it has been. But young girl that's starting out, what advice would you want to give her that you weren't given in the beginning?
You know, I don't know. Well, it is advice, but I think it's also support. Young people need support. They need somebody that believes in them, somebody that can inspire them. But, you know, I would say when you're young, you have your whole life ahead of you. So that's the time to gamble. That's why they say in the stock market, you make those more risky bets when you're younger because you've got time to make up for it. So I try to tell like my nieces, my son, everybody, what is it that you're passionate about? Get at it. And it doesn't mean that you can't also be business savvy, because that's where we were messing up. Sending everybody, go sing for somebody and hopefully they'll sign you, and and they handling all your business for you. Right. So, you know, get your business savvy together, get your money together. If you got people that believe in you, maybe you get 10 or 20 people to invest, you know, $1,000 each, and you put your project together. You do your own marketing and push yourself out there. You're young, you got the time, you got the energy. Do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You're making a lot of sense, because that's the big transition right now. Entertainment is becoming very entrepreneurial. You know, even for us on the film side, put together a pitch deck and pitch and think somebody's going to write you a big check and you're going to make it. A lot of them are looking you to come in the door with a finished product.
Right.
You know, and maybe they'll
do all that. Why are you signing a deal?
Right.
Doing anything for you. They're saying, oh, this person just did a whole bunch of hard work. And it's okay if they're going to invest in you and you get your fair share back. And that is something that I would love to do in the future, is give young artists a fair chance. Invest in them, but also give them a fair chance where they get a fair share.
Does that sound like some kind of label or A&R relationship?
That would the way I envision it is, it's a label, but it's a studio. It's a writer's camp, because I love writing. It's all that.
We'll look forward to that. Now, I know you've taken a couple of acting classes and that kind of stuff. Is that another part of the creative self that you're developing?
Yes, it is. Like, you know, I was a thespian back in high school. I don't know if y'all know what that means. I know you know what that means, Anthony. But no, I used to act in high school. I was in all the plays. I was in dancing, singing, all of that, acting. That was what I was passionate about when I was young. Sometimes when you're young, that's when you're more open. And a lot of times that's really that's what you should be doing. Yes, it needs to be honed and developed. And sometimes God needs to take his time on some of us. But just to really not let go of it. So now I'm just trying to get back to it and get back in it. You're never too old to act. So just trying to get back into it.
I want you to give me some of the tough moments when you were at a real place of decision and how you handled that tough moment.
When I was in college, and I'll never forget this, it was predominantly white. It's like 20,000 students, might have been more. But it was only like 2% black. So all the black people knew each other. We all knew each other. And I remember we were standing on the steps of the student union. I don't even remember. It was some kind of boycott or something. But we were all on the steps and we were just singing. And there was this guy. I think he had a crush on me, but I didn't have a crush on him. And so he decided to take this was cruel. He took a piece of paper and wrote he did. He walked up to me and handed it to me. And I said, "What's this?" He said, "This is a petition that I started for people, to get people to sign so you can stop singing." That broke my heart. Broke my heart. And like he apologized for, "Oh, I was just joking." But when you're an artist and you're young, and I was very sensitive then, and I was shy too, it can take a lot out of you. So to really pull myself back up from that and say, "I'm gonna keep on singing, I'm gonna keep on writing. Hey, I might not be Whitney Houston, but I'm all right. I can do all right." So that was a really tough moment. It was one that I will never forget. And so I would say, you can't always wait for somebody to pat you on the back and tell you, "Oh, you're doing a great job," or, "Oh, I love you." And you just got to go for it. Just go. And then when you think about, it's a lot of folks out there doing stuff that we should be doing that don't even have the talent, that we're not doing because maybe we don't believe in ourselves, because somebody handed us a petition back when we was 18 years old. And that was nothing but the devil. I know now that was the devil trying to stop me.
Yes, definitely. But that seed was already planted. Thank goodness that you went back to root it, and now it's just going to spring up to what you would have it to be. I know a lot of people, especially for females, once we do reach a certain age, we feel that that is such an obstacle that is going to stop us. But these days we do have the opportunity, like you're saying, with the social media, with the marketing skills, with the different things that we have access to reach the audience that we want to reach. And now you have a, so it gets to be on your terms. So it's more beautiful that way and more fulfilling. We want to be successful. Success looks like what? Millions of followers, millions of dollars, and different things like that. But for you, and for different people, it means different things.
Yeah, and I think too that God works in mysterious ways, and I really do feel like He saved me for such a time as this. Like, when I just look at what He's done for me, sometimes I'm like, okay, He has saved me for now. And if He saved me for now, then whatever I'm supposed to be doing right now with my voice, with writing, with acting, even on the business side of the house or in corporate America, whatever I'm supposed to be doing is supposed to be touching other lives. I know I'm supposed to be touching women's lives. And if it is His will, His will, it's going to go platinum.
Yes.
If it's not, I'm okay, because God is so good. Like, He has been so good to me. I cannot complain. I can't complain.
What do you want to leave our audiences with?
Well, I think I kind of been saying it. One, never give up on your dreams. And sometimes they may evolve. Like if you are, I got a niece on here that plays basketball. She was the truth. So sometimes it will evolve naturally because you're not necessarily going to be doing that thing. But what can you do with those skills that you got? Can you help some other young girls that want to play basketball? Can you coach? Can you start your own camp? What can you do? She told me she wanted to start a business. I help her start a business. So I would say, just don't give up on your dreams. It may evolve, and get with God, because He's ultimately the one to make sure that you stay on track. So He's going to get you to your destination. So if something changes, especially if it becomes a situation where it's like, that's a no. I thought that was it, but that's a no. Then there's still a yes down the road. But you do have to stay connected to God to figure out what that yes is.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Sometimes it's not right now. Sometimes it's not a yes or a no. Sometimes it's not right now.
Sometimes it is a not right now.
It's so amazing how parallel our lives are. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm so glad to meet you. It's funny that you know my brother, but yeah. So yeah, just everybody keep your hand in God's hand. Get alone with God, and you got to block out social media. Sometimes you got to get off the internet and get alone with God, and try to understand what your purpose is, because you still here for a reason. If COVID didn't tell us anything else, I know me and my family, we lost a lot of people. Yeah. I lost friends. I lost uncles. I lost a brother. I lost a stepmom. We lost a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm just, that's just to name a few.
Yes.
So if it's taught you, if it hasn't taught you anything else, you are still here for a reason.
Absolutely.
Figure out what it is. Get with God.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love that. So for our audiences that want to stay in touch with you, which social media or contact information would you like to leave them?
I am underscore Rhonda Rich. I am underscore RHONDARICH on IG. Do go to YouTube and check out the video Amnesia by Rhonda Rich. I would love for you guys to share it. Help me out a little bit. Help a sister go a little bit viral if you can. It takes all of us.
Where can they buy your music?
Oh, it's on all the platforms. iTunes, every it's on all of the platforms. So if you just go in there and you look for Amnesia by Rhonda Rich, I would appreciate the support. And when this live is finished, I would love it if y'all would share it to your people and just keep it going.
Well, I tell you what, I'm a DJ, so I can definitely play it at all the venues. I mean, I do all clean music, so but the song is so good for weddings. I mean, like the pre-parties and different things like that, because even though it speaks about heartache, it does speak about hope. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so and it speaks about love. I mean, people think that when love goes bad, that it's a bad thing, but it's really not, because you have love and you've learned a lesson from that love. You know,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah. So I'll definitely be playing your song at my venue.
Absolutely. And you just, I'm sorry. One more thing for those that are listening. Just because love goes sideways, don't give up on yourself. So many women, family members, people I know, they're holding on to this one guy, and the guy is treating them terrible. Love is
yeah,
found in here, not
Yes.
out there. And
Yes.
you teach them how to treat you. And if
Yeah.
they can't, I appreciate my peace. So it's like I'd rather be home in my bed alone than in the bed with a man that don't know how to treat me any day
yeah,
of the week.
Yes. So a man that don't like you.
Don't like
yeah.
me. Don't. Mm-mm.
We
Or just wants
started.
me to have low self-esteem, because sometimes they only feel good when you feel like you down here. So they'll say things. They might
Mm,
talk about your weight or your stomach or your this or your that, because they need you to feel like you down here. But they still with you though.
yeah,
Right. And don't
right.
like with you though.
They still with you though. So but
Yeah,
yeah, love
like
is
I said,
in here.
hurt people. But one of the things that a lot of my colleagues, other producers and directors, we get around and talk. We realize there's been an assault on the Black identity since 1619. They've tried to define us across the world. This is who this group of people are. But now that we get to tell our own stories from our own point of view, we're sharing the more full scale and scope of our humanity through our songs, through our self-published books, through the songs that we release ourselves. And I think it's a beautiful thing. So I think that tide will turn over time because it's healing.
Right.
I'm the buffoon, I got to make you laugh, and that's not an affirming image for me. Right? Or the Black woman who's a this, that's not an affirming image for her.
Right.
But when we share our stories and our life and our humanity from our point of view, and people see that, I think we're going to see a shift, in the next generation because of the work that we're doing.
I agree.
So,
And sometimes the ones blazing the path, you don't get all the fame and the glory, and that's okay. Sometimes you do. But either way, I just want to do what I'm here to do, what God put me on this earth to do.
yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you, your story has already impacted people. I know a few because my wife is connected to a number of singers. And when they kind of learned of your story and what you were doing, many of them pulled out their tablets and started writing and dusting it off. Like you, the kids are at a place now that I can focus back some time on me.
Right.
A number of women. It wasn't just one, it was a whole group of them. I was like, wow. All because
awesome.
I'm sitting here editing this video and they're like, what you doing? I'm like, yeah, this artist, Rhonda Rich and blah, blah, blah. Wow. That process, you inspired them. It's already happening. Absolutely.
You inspired me as well, and I have a whole fleet of females that I want you to speak to. So that's going to be your first your first thing that you're going to do, which is a Zoom conference call. And this
Okay.
is for all females. They're DJs, singers, artists, makeup artists, models. And I'm going to have you speak to us just because your story has inspired me so much. So I'm
Okay.
in you when we get off of here so we can set that conference call up. It's going to be on a Zoom. So get ready. This is the
I'm
beginning.
ready. This is the beginning. That's the other thing, is that I do want to do public speaking. I want to inspire people. So, and if anybody has an opportunity for me to come and speak, I'm ready and willing.
All right. Y'all heard
I
her.
appreciate it.
Y'all
Love
heard
it.
her.
Love it. So once again, we got Miss Rhonda Rich, amazing voice, amazing person, a beautiful spirit. We're so glad that you're sharing your gift with the world.
Thank
And I'm
you
going to
so
kick it
much.
to DJ Miss Pan to do our closeout, but I love you. I
I
appreciate
love
you.
you too.
Thank you for giving me the honor of directing your music video. It was great for me.
It was an amazing experience for me. I can't wait to do it again.
Thank you.
Great, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank y'all for having the conversation with us with Miss Rhonda Rich tonight as we talked about the people, the process, and soon we're going to be talking about all her projects because she manifested it on here tonight. So we're going to have her back stars perform.
I'm sorry, when I clap, that's it. It's coming.
I'm manifesting it for her. Great interview, great conversation. Anthony, do we know who we're talking to next week?
Next week we're talking to Trell Woodbury. He's a showrunner. He has a show on the All Black Network called For the Love of Jason.
All right, guys. So for joining us, and we will see you guys next Monday, 7 p.m. sharp.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Love y'all. We'll see you next week.
Bye.